Alright, we just got off the metro. We don't have much time, so let's get started quickly. Nikon, they've given us the D600 to review. We're doing that. Some stats real quick. Nikon D600, newest camera Nikon's announced, cheapest full-frame camera they've ever put out. 24.1 megapixels, 5 frames per second, standard ISO of 6400, and of course it is a full-frame camera. We're right next here by the fish market, so we're gonna go to the Gold Souk in a bit. There's some guys playing cricket over here, so we might as well go shoot. As well as giving us the D600, Nikon has let us use the 7200 f2.8 from Nikon. Shoot some stuff, so let's go do some action. See how this holds up on continuous burst rates. Like I said, 5.5 frames per second. So yeah, let's go. I'm shooting at f2.8, 100 millimeters, ISO 50, because I can. And these files, I don't know if you can tell here, these files are so clean. So clean. Beautiful. Alright, so you wouldn't consider a Nikon D600 at 5 frames per second to be necessarily a sports camera, but in all honesty, I'd say this actually works pretty well. Now, if you're going to go out to buy a camera exclusively for sports, I wouldn't say go with this. I'd say go with something else with a faster burst rate, maybe the D300S, something like that. But if you're just doing it casually, this isn't so bad. 24 megapixels at 5 frames per second, shooting in RAW mode. That's pretty impressive. I mean, that's a lot of information you got to process in the camera. And this actually has the same processor as the D4, which is the flagship from Nikon. So honestly, this isn't bad. So, shot a little cricket here. I think we'll go on, see what else we can do. Oh God, we're walking over to the fish market right now. It stinks, it really does. This is disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, oh God, why are we going to the fish market?
Why are we going to the fish market?
Let's not go to the fish market. Alright, so we're walking around here. We left the fish market, went across the road, and I'm pretty sure we are completely lost. I have no idea where we are. I thought we were gonna end up over by the Gold Souk, but I don't know. Alright, so with the D600, I'm pretty sure with all Nikon cameras, you got 3 autofocus modes. You have auto, which is where the camera picks the autofocus points and focuses by itself. You have standard, or still, I'm not sure what it stands for, where you pick one autofocus point or a few, and once it focuses, it locks on, so it stays at focus point. And then you have autofocus continuous. That's where, as long as you have the button pressed, half pressed, the shutter button or the AF button, which is focusing with, it will continuously try to find the focus point. And that's what we're using right now. We're using autofocus continuous. So when we're doing stuff like hip shooting like this, even though you're not looking, you know that it's trying to focus for you. The thing that I find with the D600, as far as this autofocus goes, especially for stuff like this in the street, where you need to grab something really quick, is that what the D600 lets you do is it lets you actually, you can select one autofocus point. There's 39 autofocus points that it gives you, and you can select one of them, and then what it does is it looks for the focus on that one point, but then it gives you like 21 autofocus points around that it can then help you out with. So that's really great for something like this. When I want instantaneous gratification, when I see something, I see a look, I see a guy, and I want to shoot it, boom, instantaneous. And it will find that focus very, very quickly, especially with a lens like the 7200, even with a 51.8D. It'll find that focus quickly, and it will give you that shot when you need it, so you're not hunting. Alright, so now we're recording video on the D600, because that's a pretty big feature for this. Oh, this stupid Canon. So yeah, this is video on the D600, 1080p, 30 frames per second. Nikon's done a pretty deliberate job of making video on the D600, D800, and D4 very good. So this, I'm assuming, is going to be some pretty high quality video. We've been shooting with a little Canon little toy for video for the rest of this time. So yeah, this is what video looks like on the D600 right now. The audio quality, there's manual audio adjustments on the D600. You do not get that on I'm pretty sure you don't get that on the 7D. Maybe. Big feature of the D600 for video is it has a mic input for external mics, but also it has a headphone jack input, so you can actually hear what you're recording, and you can actually listen to the recordings from the mic input afterwards. And that's a pretty special feature. You don't have that on many cameras. So that's a great thing about the D600. So if you're in a video, the D600 is a very cheap alternative to a dedicated camcorder, and with the advantage of interchangeable lenses. Alright, so we've had some good fun shooting the D600 today. I don't know if we're supposed to cross the street, but
YOLO.
Sure, YOLO. It's been great for street photography. As far as if you're into street photography, travel photography, anything like that, as far as we've done with today, it's fantastic. However, the one thing that we haven't been able to do with the D600 is shoot some low light photography. Shooting at the high ISOs and seeing how the files come out, because it's a lot of pixels on the sensor. So that was a big question for me when I first picked this up. So we're gonna go out again, come down here, down to the creek again, and do some low light stuff. So I'll throw up some photos from that, and I'll show you hopefully what I'm assuming is gonna be very good performance at whatever aperture at a super high ISO, so you still get clean files. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. And if the D600 holds up in low light, I'd say it's really kind of an ideal camera. It's fantastic for everything. You get the full frame, you get 1080p video, 24 megapixels, which is more than anybody has any business having. And you get it all in a magnesium alloy body for a very, very reasonable price. So as far as the other cameras that you might be looking at, the D800, I would recommend the D800 if you're doing studio work. If you're doing anything else in studio, even if you are doing studio, the D800 is a specialty camera in my opinion. D4, if you're a photojournalist or you're into street, if you're into sports, get a D4, 11 frames per second. Otherwise, the D600 is fantastic. It's light, it's small, full frame, 24 megapixels. It's everything you might want. We're lost. I'm not even sure where we are. We're looking for the metro. Excuse me. Do you know where the metro is? Metro.
What metro?
The closest metro. Yes.
Metro station.
Yes, metro station. This way and on the left.
Right side.
Left side? Right. So it's on the left. So if we take a left, it's on our right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Maybe we're not as lost as we were. Let's see if we can't get. All right. So we just finished shooting. We're shooting for a good hour-ish, maybe a little more. Good fun. D600, yes, this camera it's a beast. It doesn't have the resolution of the D800. I don't know why you would need more than 24 megapixels, but focus for street photography, yes. Continuous shooting at 5 frames per second, yes. 24 megapixels, incredible resolution. It's a great camera. I'm gonna throw up some low light stuff in just a sec so you can see how the ISO works. Maybe some studio stuff as well. But yeah, this camera, I can't recommend it enough. I mean, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't say you need to spend as much money on this. But if you're an enthusiast, an advanced amateur, maybe even a part-time professional, this camera's for you. It really is. It's a great price, full frame, 24 megapixels, like I've been saying. It's a great camera. I don't have any complaints. I really don't.
Alright guys, here are the promised high ISO samples from the D600. All of these were shot at the highest standard ISO the D600 offers, which is ISO 6400. And in all honesty, I was a little bit let down by the performance of the D600 at high ISOs, such as 6400, as if you look at 100% crop, there is quite a bit of noise and grain when you're shooting with the D600 at these ISOs. Would you get the same performance from the D4? No, you wouldn't. But the D600, like I was saying, is an all-around camera. These files are fixable in Photoshop and Lightroom, so they are usable. And the performance at these ISOs, it just isn't there. So if you're going to be doing tons and tons of low light work, I wouldn't recommend the D600. But like I was saying, it's an all-around camera. You can use it for tons of different things. Again, special thanks to Nikon. Fantastic guys over there have been letting us use the D600 and the 7200 for a little while now. And hopefully we'll be able to put out some more reviews of some more Nikon equipment coming up pretty soon.